Hi, today's good person to know is Jackie Fast. She's managing director at Slingshots, and her talk was all about how to get sponsorships. She says the purpose of a sponsor isn't about the money. She says it's about the ability to do stuff. She defined it as when two or more companies collaborate to create a mutual benefit where if they hadn't come together, they couldn't have done it. With this in mind, she says that is how you create sustainability. Jackie showed us a video how consumerism had changed the way we do things thanks to social media, and do take a note of the facts because for some this could be your key asset. Bottom line, you need to think about what you actually need, and Jackie broke it down into 3 components: the objective, your assets, and the inspiration. Jackie goes into detail in this video, and if I have to be honest with you, I didn't get it until she went through a case study between McLaren and GSK. Basically, GSK wanted to tap and have access into McLaren's engineers, and the only way to do this was via a sponsorship deal, which is what they've done, and it's a fantastic partnership. The point is, look at the assets you have, because you may not think it's relevant, but for someone else it may be very, very beneficial. So I hope you enjoy this video, and thank you for watching.
Today I'm going to talk about just a little bit about kind of the wider breadth of sponsorship, and it's really about the pinnacle of client engagement. And this is really important because obviously you do sponsorship for a reason, because you want money. Ironically, the first title, or the first slide that I'm going to show you, is that it's not about the money. Our definition of sponsorship is that it's when 2 or more organizations collaborate in order to create mutual benefits for all parties involved, which they wouldn't have been able to achieve on their own. When you actually build a partnership that is based on this foundation, that is when you create sustainability. We talk about mutual benefits. Are we really benefiting our sponsors? We love logos and sponsorship. That's what everybody sells. That's apparently what we're supposed to sell. But if we talk about benefits, if we're doing sponsorship for mutual benefits, I think the question is, do logos actually provide benefit? Basically, purchase behavior has changed, and what influences us has changed dramatically. And us as consumers know this. You inherently know this because you make decisions about how you engage with the world every single day. And yet, you still provide packages which are majorly comprised of logo. Another thing that you've got to think about, mutual is important. Are you really benefiting yourself? Why are you doing sponsorship? And of course, everybody's going to say, we're doing it because we want money. But actually, it's not money you want. You want money so you can do stuff. You want money so you can make your event bigger, better, and more beautiful. That's why you want money. It's a secondary objective. You want money so you can do stuff better. And because of that, you start looking at sponsorship in a really, really weird way. We work with everyone. We work with the Mayor of London, I work with television shows, the BBC, and I ask everybody, the same questions. And it's always, who's your ideal sponsor and why? And they say, HSBC and Barclays. And you say, why? Oh, because I know they sponsor stuff. Without any concept, because all you're thinking about is money. HSBC have money, so they will give me money. That's the way it works, right? You're not actually thinking about what you actually need. You're not actually thinking about what brands actually need from you. How do you create a sponsorship that is really, truly built on mutual benefits? And that is the most important thing. When you create real sponsorship, and you help brands reach objectives that they couldn't have been able to achieve without you, that is when you get a lot of money. That is when you have sustainability. That is when you have partnerships that are truly driving towards one vision. It's not rocket science. Sponsorship is really, really easy. Really easy. The problem is that there's so many variables, so you have to really take some time to consider those variables. The first thing is objectives. So if we're talking about mutual benefits, we need to figure out what is going to benefit my sponsor. What is going to benefit me? And the reason that I have a boardroom there is because most people think marketing terms. How can sponsorship help me in marketing terms? Awareness, promotion, advertisement. But actually, when you create true business partnerships, it goes well beyond marketing. The reason there's a boardroom there is because I never do any deals with the marketing department. All of the deals that we do for our clients are based on the boardroom because everything that we do has an impact across the business. I said it already, it's not about money. You want the money to do something. Figure out what that is and figure out how you can achieve that through sponsorship. The thing that I think is really important is find people that do it better. You know, you've got this really great opportunity to look at how organizations are becoming much more specialist. You can basically achieve those things together. Find people who do things better than you. The second thing is around assets. So I talked already about advertisements, logos, and the fact that that's the only thing people sell, and actually it's not very valuable to anybody. And the way that I like to describe this is that it's your store. Imagine that your store is your sponsorship opportunity. It's basically everything that you can touch, change, and manipulate. A lot of people put in their sponsorship proposal, oh, great PR. You don't own PR. You have no influence of your PR generation. What I always say is, with sponsorship, logos, hospitality, and tickets is aisle 1. And you've got 10 aisles in your store. Why is that bad? It's a waste of space because you're paying rent on these other 9 aisles which you're not selling. In sponsorship terms, in your own agencies or organizations terms, it's the same thing. You guys are actively investing, putting resource, time, and effort into a whole bunch of things that can be monetized. So stuff like your stakeholders, your board, your network, all of those things could be seriously valuable assets for brands that you don't even consider as part of the sponsorship deal. Assets are effectively, the way that I like to describe it, is a bridge to an audience. The potentials and opportunities, if you start thinking about stuff like that rather than putting your logo on a lanyard, you know, you're actually looking at how you're helping brands drive value. So our world has changed fundamentally. And so in order to kind of keep up with it, in order to derive mutual benefits, you have to be thinking about stuff in this term. The third thing is that, you know, talk is cheap. It's really easy for me to sit up here and tell you how to do sponsorship better. The point is that it's too easy to be complacent on stuff like that. It's too easy to say, well, you know, we're only small. This isn't for me. We don't have those assets. But actually, you do. Everybody does. You just have to look at how to extrapolate that better. And when you do, and you create those partnerships, what you can achieve together is always vastly bigger and vastly better than trying to achieve it on your own. It's just finding that perfect partner. But inspiration is the key to unlocking it. You know, when you have a good sponsorship, you know it works. How this is done in practical senses with a case study. When you're selling Formula One, you think brands that are sexy and fast and, you know, technology driven and really innovative. What you don't think about is toothpaste. Back to objectives. What does a toothpaste company want to do? They want to make money. And they can do that 2 ways. They can sell more toothpaste and they can reduce their costs. Consumer preferences have changed with toothpaste. You know, people want to be an individual. People want a whole bunch of things. So when you are a company like GSK who produces toothpaste, what happens is you have a big factory. And they produce all of these kinds because they want to keep up with their customers. So over time, our customer preferences have become more individualistic, which means they have to change the line more and more often. But every time they're changing the line, they're not making toothpaste. It's a big problem. It's a multi-billion-pound problem. They had a problem with efficient planning process. They had a problem with data modeling. They couldn't figure out how to change the lines quicker. They had a problem with real-time monitoring. So when something happened, they couldn't communicate the problem quick enough to the people at the top who could change it. And then some very clever person in GSK really looked at the problems. Okay, these are my objectives. These are the things that I want. I want better planning process, better data modeling tools, better real-time monitoring, and inspiration. Where do I find that stuff? Where do I find an engineer who can deliver all this stuff above everybody else? Well, if you think of Formula One, and you think of the best engineers in the world, they go to Formula One jobs. So they identify that the people that they need are here, that they can't access. So what did they do? They sponsored it. As part of their deal, they have no branding on the car. They sponsored the team for the people. But what they looked at is, what are my objectives? And actually, the worst or best thing about this is GSK went knocking on the doors of Formula One. Formula One did not even think that these were assets that they had, that organizations could use. This is a partnership that still remains. It's one of their biggest. It's probably one of the most valuable. This is something that actually makes a massive difference to the bottom line. And this is big. This is a really big sponsorship with no logos, but real impact.
Oh wow, I didn't even know sponsorship agencies existed. And I thought really and truly a sponsorship was about money. But actually it's so much more than that. It's about creating a mutual benefit, a win-win as she put it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to see more and thank you for watching.